Hey, Spartan fans, welcome to game number 8 of the 2019 NHI AA Division II football season. Milford Spartans on the road in Peterborough, taking on the Cougars of Conval High School. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin St. Onge, sitting in the Crow's Nest at Field Stadium, or Stadium Field. We're not quite sure which it is. Joined by Dennis Shepard, as always. Dennis, we have a football game here tonight. Mirror image teams. Milford Spartans 6-1 versus the Cougars of Conval High School 1-6.
Certainly, and this is a opportunity, I think, for the Cougars to come at the Spartans. The Milford Spartans and the Cougars have had a little bit of a history over the past 3 years, and very competitive games, both halves of the game. So I don't expect it to be much different tonight either, regardless of the records. Kids
know each other from playing in the youth programs. The Milford Mustangs come out here to Conval and play at the youth level, and the coaches know each other very well as well. Head coach Robin Klaus, first-year head coach here in Conval, very familiar with the Milford Mustang program, coached in that program for several years, a Nashua guy, spends a lot of time going through Milford back and forth to Peterborough, and so he's familiar with Coach Jones and this flexbone offense. Guess what? He runs the same offense that the Milford Spartans run, and so it'll be very interesting for this Milford defense to face an offense that they face every day in practice, which also happens to be the top rushing offense in the state of New Hampshire in Division II.
Certainly, and it should give the defense on the Spartan side an opportunity to see those reads and certainly make some outstanding plays tonight. So both sides, again, Conval I know has had quite a few injuries over the course of this season, so that has hurt them and is relevant in their record at the moment. So
1-6 on the season. You mentioned their record. They opened the season with a win over Kingswood, I believe it was, when they went out of conference to the North Country and played the North Conference. 6-game losing streak, 4 of those 6 by shutout. It'll be very interesting to see if they can get their offense untracked. And the goal last week against Sanborn was to get to 35 points in the first half so they could have a running clock in the second half and unload the bench in the second half. That would be a couple of the team goals for this game as well. The third goal, keep everybody healthy, because next week, guess who comes to town?
That's right. Hudson's going to be the key. So certainly we want to get off the field with our varsity team and as well get the experience of the JV and the freshman team on the field, because those are the backups for this team. So
Milford Spartans set to kick off from the north end of the field, kicking to the southern end here at the foothills, in the foothills of the Monadnock region. Mount Monadnock, not too far off from here. I believe that's Liam Daly who will be kicking off for the Milford Spartans. And we are underway Friday night under the lights here in New Hampshire. It's a squib kick under the up the middle. The ball is loose on the field. Looks like the Spartans have it. We're going to wait for the final indication from the officials, but first play of the game, pretty exciting. Spartans had a chance to get on it. And
Conval up with the ball.
Conval comes up with it, but right off the bat, Milford looking to get the ball and establish field position and score early, but they're going to have to play a little defense now.
They are. So it looks like the defensive line is pretty stout at the moment with Colton Burrows there, number 74, number 79 there, Dan McHugh, right there up in the middle. So I'm sure they're going to look to push right towards that quarterback right now.
Caleb Sanborn, the sophomore quarterback for the Cougars, surveying the field, running the flexbone offense, very similar to the Milford Spartan offense as well. Sanborn calling signals, motion man coming around. Sanborn keeps the ball, and he's swarmed under by the interior defensive line of the Spartans.
Colton Burrows taking that gap and just swallowing him up.
Colton Burrows missed the first half of the season with an injury, but he's been playing very aggressively this second half of the season, trying to make up for lost time.
And Colton has a statement that he wants to make right now. He wants to show people that he's on the field for a reason. So,
as a senior, wanting to have fun with his classmates as well. Sanborn comes back out, second play from scrimmage. It is 2nd and 12. Ball is spotted on the 24-yard line of the Cougars. Sanborn back to pass, quick pop pass to the right side. That is completed to, looks like number 34, Austin Davis. He's a junior. Nice short little gain for the Cougars. Moves the down marker rather to the original line of scrimmage.
Certainly, and Trevor Coyne made a nice read on that, and for the 1-yard loss.
26-yard line.
Third and just shy of 11. The ball is now at the 27-yard line. Milford with a stop here may establish good field position for their first offensive series, but they first have to stop this third down play. Sanborn in the shotgun, looking to pass right, completes a little screen pass out to the right, but that play's going nowhere. That loses another yard, bringing up a 4th and probably 12, and the punting unit comes on for the Cougars of Conval High School.
Once again, that another play right for Trevor Coyne, making a quick read and for the 2-yard loss on that.
Punting team out for the Cougars. We had a host of roster problems trying to confirm numbers in the pregame period, so I'm not trusting my numbers on my punter here, but that kick is away, and it lands at about the 46-yard line, 47-yard line of the Spartans, where they'll take over first down. Excellent field position to start their first series of the game.
It certainly is, and I'm sure, we call it the slow and move offense of the Spartans, but we know, you and I know, it's a quick strike offense with the running game. So
many games have started by the Spartans with 4-play drives for their first score. Happened at Manchester West. Again last week, the Sanborn Indians. We'll see what the Spartans can do as they come out first and 10. Ball is on the 48-yard line. Gavin Erta, the top rusher in Division II, under center in Coach Keith Jones' flexbone offense. Tewksbury split to the left. Ugu behind Erta. The give is kept by Erta's gone. He's all by himself. One man to beat. He's into the end zone. First play of the game. Milford Spartans go up 6-0. That was a read option for Erta. He stuck the ball in there to the big fullback. Caught me by surprise. I thought he was going to give it to the big fullback. He kept it, turned the corner on the left side. 52-yard running play for the Spartans to open this game. It is now 6-0 at the 10:18 mark of the first quarter. Milford making a statement early with their defense to establish field position, and then their offense with their All-State quarterback Gavin Erta. Snap, kick, good. 7-0. Milford Spartans on top here, just underway at Conval High School. So while we're changing over kickoff team and kick return team, this gives us a chance, Dennis, to talk a little bit about current positioning. If the playoffs were starting tonight,
right,
Milford would be the top seed in the playoffs. They are the #1 team in Division II based on points. Yes, they have the one loss at 6-1. Bow in the North Conference is undefeated at 7-0, but based on the rating system used by NHIAA, right, Milford would have the top spot. Guess who the #8 seed would be and who they would open up the playoffs against?
St. Thomas.
Sauhegan.
Okay.
The one team the Spartans have been unable to beat this season. We've got a lot of football left, not only tonight but also next week. Just ironic that that's how the playoffs would start if it was tonight. Liam Daly back to kick for the Spartans. Second kickoff, and he does another squib kick down the right hash. This is picked up by Conval, and the runner, I believe, is number 30. That would be Alex Heck, I believe.
And he's tackled by Kyle Boucher, number 26.
Check that. Austin Davis fielded that and stayed along the left sideline for the Cougars. Spartans give up a little bit more in field position on this kickoff. Ball is spotted at the 35-yard line. The nose of the ball is on the 35-yard line. At the 10-12 mark of the first quarter, just pretty much underway here at Conval Field Stadium. We're not sure what we're calling it. But it is a beautiful night here in Peterborough, New Hampshire. The lights are on, crisp, cool New England weather. And here come the Cougars on their second series with sophomore quarterback Caleb Sanborn calling out the signals. Now under center, motion man. The give is not given. Caleb keeps the ball, tackled for a 3-4-yard loss. In there, Caden Zielinski, Colton Burrows, Samson Hodges,
Junior Ugu.
It's a who's who of Milford Spartan defensive linemen.
Exactly, it was the whole line.
It's a loss of about 6 yards on that particular play. That'll be a 2nd down and 16 for the Cougars. Offense obviously very similar to what the Spartans run. this young team for Coach Klaus, learning this offense. When I spoke with him before the game, he said that this was a learning process, and he's proud of his players and what they've picked up. It's a complicated offense. High snap to Sanborn, but he releases the ball downfield. That ball was intended for number 84. That was Peter Weatherall. Incomplete. Overshot his receiver. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 16. Dennis, back to Coach Klaus. A 1-6 team with a lot of young players. It is a long season, but he tells me that they're very enthusiastic. They're coming out. They're looking to build on this program. He described it as a 3-year plan, and they're only in year 1.
Right. Yeah, and they have a young group of kids, a young quarterback.
3rd down and 16. Sanborn has the ball sail over him. This is going to be a race to the end zone. Sanborn falls on it inside the 5. Ball is still loose,
Spartans have the ball.
Spartans have the ball. That's going to set them up with probably the best field position they're ever going to see.
Oh, what?
No.
Conval has the ball.
Conval was able to get on that ball. Great hustle by the quarterback, though, to keep that from going into the end zone and allow his team to catch up and help him recover the ball. It'll bring up a 4th down, and I can't even do this math there, Dennis. The ball spotted on the 1-yard line. Line to gain is the
4th and
45, so it's 4th and 44. Appreciate your help on that. The punt is away. Gavin Erda having a hard time corralling it. He does. Now trying to work up the right side. Gets a big block from Colton Burrows. Steps out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds.
At the 4.
At the 4-yard line. Nice play by number 56 of the Cougars. That would be Louis Lafleur to save the touchdown. Spartans are in business with not as good field position as they would have had if they had recovered the high snap, but
right.
4-yard line going in. This looks an awful lot like that Indians game of last week versus Sanborn. Milford tilted the field towards the south end zone, much like they're doing here tonight.
Same end zone, right?
It's almost like 2 weeks in a row the field is just tilted downhill for the Spartans, which is great for their offense and hopefully allows them to get their younger players into the game early, and it'll be a quick second half. Before we get to that, though, flexbone offense with a mini wishbone behind Erda. Tewksbury wide right. Erda gives it to the second man, Hanrahan, untouched into the end zone, 4-yard touchdown run. Sean Hanrahan, Mr. Efficiency with the ball. Every time he touches the ball, he makes something happen. Tonight, that play, touchdown.
Right, 2 plays, 2 touchdowns.
2 offensive plays, exactly, Dennis. 2 offensive plays and a touchdown. That'll bring up an opportunity for Liam Daly to kick away. The junior had his troubles early in the season. He's been battling with sophomore Colin Gregg when Gregg isn't playing soccer. But this kick is up, although low, it is good. Spartans are up on top now, 14-0 here in the first quarter of play. Long snap by Kyle Forsley. Holder Gavin Erda. Kick Liam Daly. Spartans on top.
Senior night here at Conval.
Band is sounding good. Nice crisp evening here in Peterborough. So if you're in the area, stop by and check us out. It's Milford Spartans on the road, trying to go to 7-1 and establish a stranglehold on the top spot in NHIAA Division II. So much like last week's game, early in the game again tonight, Keith Jones establishing momentum, and then he asks for some mo. That would be momentum. Liam Daly steps into this one, drives it deep to the Cougars. That's fielded by Austin Davis, and he's switched his fields and come back to the left hash mark where he's met by Hussey, Tewksbury, it looks like. Matt Hannon also in there on the tackle. So the Cougars will start their 3rd series of the evening. Ball spotted just shy of the 35-yard line. It'll be placed on the left hash mark. There's a timeout on the field. Dennis, that gives us an opportunity to thank some of our sponsors here on Granite Town Media,
Certainly.
Together with our Milford Spartan Booster Club.
Yeah, and we would like to thank Demoulas Market Basket, Chapel Tractor, Contemporary Automotive, Gurney's Automotive, the Johnson family, Tewksbury Wealth Management, Dunkin' Donuts, Coco Realty, Hatch Plumbing and Heating, the Pasta Loft, Sauhegan Valley Lacrosse, Crotched Mountain Golf Club, Hurricane Hill Development Company, Maplebrook Family Dentistry, MG Sports, Milford Mini Storage, Prana Salon, Friel & Son Electric, Hitchner Manufacturing, Hometown Insurance Agency, Medlin Motors, Philip Audrey Optometrist.
Do we get a deal with Dr. Aubrey? Because I think I need some new glasses.
I don't know what the deal is. I'm sure he would love to have our services, though.
I haven't seen Dr. Aubrey in 35 years, but I'm glad to see he's still in business here in town. So here we go now. 1st and 10 on the Cougar 35-yard line. Third series of the evening. Sanborn in the shotgun formation for the Cougars. He has one setback with him. Sanborn keeps the ball. He's going to lose another 6 or 7 on this play. Started in the shotgun, faked the dive to the single wing,
and Michael McGuire wasn't taking it.
Mikey McGuire read the play, got great penetration, and it was a great form tackle by McGuire. Broke down, didn't allow the quarterback to wiggle out. That'll bring up a 2nd down, and it looks like 15. Ball is dropped back to the 29-yard line.
Very impressive of the maturity of the Spartans varsity defense. Mikey McGuire played that end position perfectly, only going as deep as the ball, not getting faked out with the other player.
Kind of Patriot-like. Do your job. Do not try to do more than your job.
Right.
Sanborn under center this time. Pitches the ball back to number 35. That was Tyler Finley. Sean Hanrahan up again. Another nice form tackle. We're seeing fundamentals by these seniors. That's one of the things that Coach Jones and I talked about on the Coach's Corner show this week, about how do you keep a team like this, senior-laden team with a 6-1 record, interested going into a game. Now, let's face it, these 16, 17-year-olds figure they probably have every chance of winning. He says fundamentals.
Right.
Go back to what you did in August and work on those things every week in practice, and that appears to be what the coaches stressed this week.
I'm sure it is. We saw the fundamentals weren't quite there in the first couple games. We saw the missed tackles and stuff, but we have seen in the next 2 games right now.
High snap handled this time by Sanborn. Pass was intended for number 21. That is Justin Byrne. In and out of his hands. That'll bring up a 4th down. Looks like we're at about 20 yards here. 4th and 20.
20, yep. And as I was saying, you've got a Spartan varsity team right now, particularly the seniors. They know this is their final season, but they have a goal. They have a goal for Durham. And they don't have a plan on anything standing in their way. November 1st, they plan on having Alvern at home, and then they want 2 home games for the championship. So
Peter Weatherall back to punt for the Cougars. He gets his boot into it. Nice high end-over-end kick fielded by Hanrahan. He has trouble fielding it, though. Still on the field. Looks like he came up with it. We'll wait for the indication. Yes, the Spartans retain possession. He just didn't handle it cleanly, and he was looking to run before he caught that ball, kind of like what happens in basketball sometimes, right. Looking to run without the before he caught it cleanly.
Yep.
He's very lucky he was able to come up with that. But again, possession number 3, great field position, just shy of the 45-yard line for the Milford Spartans. 6:37 is the time on the clock with a 14-point lead. Milford Spartans on their 3rd possession of the evening.
Last week we saw the Spartans come out in the no huddle. It'll be interesting to see if we start with the no huddle, if we get an opportunity to see that.
Spartans are tuning themselves up for that big game against Alvern. We'll talk about that a little bit more later in the half. Erda under center. Erda keeps the ball again, moving to the right side, turns the corner. He has a lot of field, has the sideline, 1 man to beat. Now cutting it back to the center of the field. Touchdown. Milford Spartans score. First play from scrimmage on their 3rd drive. 3 times in possession of the ball, 3 scores. Milford Spartans are now up 20-0.
And we're seeing why Mr. Erda is the state leading rusher.
He's going to pad his stats tonight here in the first half, knowing that if the Spartans are up by 35 in the second half, he's not likely to play. Mr. Erda taking matters into his own hand to assure that he can establish that stranglehold on the rushing lead in Division II in the state of New Hampshire.
Right.
Forcely to snap. Erda gets the ball down. The kick is up. Liam Daly gets it away. It is a good point after touchdown, PAT. 21-0 is your score. Milford Spartans on top. And this is very much a replay of what we saw last week. If you put the Sanborn game up on a split screen, I think our media manager might be able to do that in a post-production effort. A split screen between Sanborn and Conval, it would look very, very similar. The important thing here for Milford is, as we discussed, work on their fundamentals, establish the plays that they want to run on offense later in the season, or later in the playoffs. Work on their defensive fundamentals, form tackling, and so forth. And for Coach Klaus, this is a great opportunity for his young team to see the same type of offense that he runs, and how it can be run with precision.
Right. And it certainly is an opportunity for the Spartans also to see the same defense, same offense.
Squib kick by Daly, fielded by the Cougars along the left sideline. Austin Davis with the kickoff return, returns it to about the 32, maybe 33-yard line. He was initially met by Spartans number 53, Riley O'Shaughnessy. Nice tackle by the senior. At the 6:20 mark of the first quarter, Milford is up 21-0. Here come the Cougars on their next attempt on offense.
Spartans making some changes already on their defensive line with Zach Karen coming in at tackle, as well as Andrew Herner.
Sanborn can't handle the snap, falls on it immediately at the line of scrimmage. No gain, maybe a loss of a half a yard. And these are the types of things: a high snap in a shotgun formation, maybe a missed snap, in a regular formation, that you're going to get when you have a sophomore quarterback, a young team. Coach Klaus talked about the fact that he's starting, I believe it's 8 sophomores on this team. It's absolutely a work in progress, but what struck me about Coach Klaus was his absolute enthusiasm for the program and the kids that are playing in it. Conversation between the players on the Conval side. Sanborn now under center, showing good discipline on offense here. We've got 2 men in motion. I would imagine there'd be there's got to be flags on this. We had 2 men in motion. Looked like a Canadian football league for a minute there. Well, we were thinking that, I thought maybe we were up in Ottawa or Toronto. 2 players in motion, both going in the opposite directions. But every experience that these Conval players have like this, positive or negative, you learn from. You learn from those things.
Certainly is. It's got to be intimidating, though, when you're the center for Conval and you're looking at big Dan McHugh standing up in front of you.
So the illegal shift by the Cougars will move the line of scrimmage back. I actually was surprised the flags didn't come earlier. I was seeing 2 men in motion after the set, and I was waiting for the laundry. It didn't come from either the referee or the linesman for a good beat or 2. In basketball, we call that a cadence whistle. Looks like Milford declined the penalty. That brings so they brought up a 3rd down and just about 11. Inside handoff goes nowhere. Loss of another 2 or 3. Ball now spotted at about the 30-yard line. 4th down, and let's call that 12. Back deep for the Spartans, Sean Hanrahan and Darian Kimball. Peter Weatherall to punt for the Cougars. High snap, handles it very nicely. Weatherall steps into it. Nice punt, fielded by Hanrahan, drops the ball. Cougar player was right there. Not sure who's come up with it just yet. Spartans do at the same spot that they've had it to start two of the previous 3 series, 44, 45-yard line. Hanrahan just let that ball go right through the breadbasket. Cougars were right there, had every opportunity, but couldn't control the ball.
We saw a little bit of a maturity level right there with Sean. That's an opportunity where he probably should have read it and said, fair catch it or just let it go.
As a senior, you would think he would have that experience, but he probably also thought at that point, if he catches that cleanly, that Conval player goes right by him.
Right.
He's already beat the first man. Substantial gain, if not a touchdown, all over. And as a senior, you want that touchdown.
You certainly do. But you also got to start looking at this and priming for Alvern and your championships and playing some smart football.
Erda turns around and hands that ball off to, I believe that's Logan Barnhill. Short gain. Short gain, so the Spartans have a rare second down. The way they've, previous series, first play, touchdown. 2-play drive, touchdown. 1-play drive, touchdown.
And we were curious if we'd go into the no huddle or if we'd be calling in the play, so here we are, calling in the play.
With a 21-point lead at the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. Here come the Spartans. Mini bone look behind Gavin Erda. Junior Ugu, the 240-pound battering ram of fullback, is the front of that wishbone. Erda under center. Gives it to Ugu. Ugu falling forward for about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards on that play. First carry, I believe, for Junior Ugu this evening.
It certainly is. We've only had 4 plays, maybe 5 plays.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Milford Spartans, just shy of midfield, 48-yard line of the Spartans. Here come the Spartans on their 3rd down play here. Wishbone behind Erda. Andrew Burns wide right. The give is to the second man. That's Matt Hannon. Matt Hannon just shy of a first down. It'll depend on the spot. Looks like he's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet short of the first down. Nice run by Matt Hannon, though.
Certainly was, just shy.
Decision time for head coach Keith Jones. Do you go for it? Can you keep your offense on the field and continue to tip the field to the south end? Looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They're certainly lining up, maybe try to draw the Cougars off sides. That would be the conventional wisdom on a 4th down play like this. With a 21-point lead, Erda surveying the defense, looking things over, content to take his time and let the clock run. Erda calling signals. Gives the ball to the second man through the hole. Spartans have the first down. Logan Barnhill has so much more than that. 1 man, 2 men to beat on the left sideline, running to the pylon. Waiting for a signal. Touchdown. Milford Spartans. Logan Barnhill goes 48 yards for the score on a 4th and 1. Milford Spartans making a statement here early that they want to put this game away as quickly as they can.
2 minutes, 4 seconds in the first quarter. They certainly are making a statement here with players that they don't normally have on the starting varsity right now. So they're mixing it up.
The south end of this field getting worn out by the Milford Spartans offense. Kyle Forsley to snap. Gavin Erda to hold. The kick from Liam Daly is up, and he is perfect on the night. Liam Daly with the point after touchdown puts the Spartans on top 28-0.
So with the 2 minutes, 4 seconds, Spartans certainly are coming in, making a statement, trying to end this thing, get those varsity players off the field and bring in the JV.
The other part of the conversation I had with Conval head coach Rob Klaus, again, a lot of respect between these two coaches. They know each other very well. And Coach Klaus understands that this Milford Spartan team is in a different place than the Conval Cougar team is right now. He fully understands that he has a young team and they have a lot of lessons to learn as a team and as a program. And he understands that Milford's coming in here looking to put this game away as early as they can so that they can rest their starters for a big game next week and then perhaps a deep push in the playoffs.
Certainly.
Milford Spartans set to kick off again. Liam Daly, the junior, ready to step into it. Will he kick away or will it be a squib? It will be a squib right up the middle, fielded nicely by the up back. That was fielded, I believe, by number 30, Alex Heck. He returns the ball to about the 38-yard line. Do I have that right? 90. Number 90. Number 90.
Riley O'Shaughnessy on the tackle.
Alex Heck. Alexander Heck.
Leonard Romar on the carry.
Andrew Burns on the tackle.
Conval will take over.
We had problems with the roster pregame, and it's rearing its ugly head again here.
On the near half.
If I don't know the name of a player, I'm just going to call him Charlie Brown's favorite ball player. It's Joe Schlabotnik, who makes spectacular plays out of routine fly balls. That was an excellent play by Alex Heck, though. Nice job fielding that squib kick. He fielded it cleanly, moved the ball out to the Cougar 38-yard line, where Conval takes over, 1st down and 10. Sanborn calling out signals, turns around, keeps the ball after faking the handoff, and he's dragged down after maybe a 1 yard, 2 yard gain.
Nate Gagnon with a nice read from the middle linebacker spot, making for that tackle.
Nice positive play for the Conval Cougars. Brings up a 2nd down and 8.
Outside the 40-yard line, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Little things that I look at, Dennis. I look at this, this offense for the Conval Cougars. They huddle up almost 11 yards off the line of scrimmage. And I know you want to keep your play a secret, but that's a long way to go.
It is.
It's those little types of things that will come with experience in a program. Sanborn pass was intended for number 21. That's Justin Byrne. Ball was incomplete. Darian Kimball was lurking there, though.
It was Matt Hannon had the hand on that as well.
Hannon had the hand on it, but Kimball was right there for the tip drill. That's something you work on with your defensive backs. You tip, 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 catch it and go.
Yep.
He was close.
He was.
And if he got it, he had a lot of room to roam.
We're showing a well-coached Spartan defense right now. I'm sure Coach Drone is pretty happy right now with that defensive line.
I think Coach Jones is very happy seeing Conval throw the ball a little bit too, because that's been the Achilles heel of this defense all season, especially against some of these powerful teams in Division II. Long pitch from Sanborn over to number 11. That would be. Bear with me now. I'll find him. Don't tell me. No, he's not on the depth chart here. Number 11 is Reed Wilson. Running back, junior running back, had a nice gain there. That's the longest pitch I've ever seen.
That is a long pitch.
That's as long as almost any of his forward passes. But a nice gain brings up a 4th and short, and there will be a timeout on the play. Here in the first quarter of play, we're under a minute to play. 43 seconds left in the first quarter. The Cougars have a 4th and about 1, just shy of 1.
Nice seeing Conval battle. Nice seeing them mix up the plays, trying to still play their game. Last week we saw a Indian team that kept trying to drive down the middle when it just wasn't going anywhere.
So while we have this break in the action, we'll talk a little bit about the playoff picture. We started that earlier. We said that if the playoffs were tonight, Milford would be the top team. After tonight, they have this monster game next week against Alvern. But Alvern has a couple of tough games to finish the season.
They do.
And what's interesting is there's so much movement that could occur. Right now, the top 8 teams seem pretty set. There are a couple teams in both the North and South that could, jump into the playoff picture with some untimely losses by some of these middle-tier teams that are at, 5 and 3 and 4 and 3 and otherwise.
Right. You get. Just this weekend alone, Alvin's at Hollis Brookline for a 2 o'clock game tomorrow. We also have Bow playing Kennett. That game's already started for this evening. So
Cougars go for it on 4th and short. They've picked up the first down, and they will move the chains. Nice first down by the Cougars as they're moving the ball a little more efficiently on this drive than they have all night.
Again, some of the games that are going on, we got St. Thomas at Pelham, so that's another opportunity for one of those teams to switch positions. Sauhegan at Manchester West.
How about Sauhegan dropping 2 games? Losing to Hollis Brookline, losing to Pelham. That drops them to 4 and 3 on the season.
Right.
And they don't have an easy 2-game finish either. They have Manchester West, should handle that business there, but then their final game of the season, they have to go to the North and play Bow.
Right, and Bow certainly wants to end their season on a high note.
Long pitch by Sanborn over to number 34, Austin Davis, but that play got stretched out by Andrew Byrne for the Spartans.
Yeah, Andrew's certainly making a nice read and staying with that player.
Play got stretched out. Darian Kimball was able to come in and help out on the tackle.
So we end our first quarter here.
First quarter comes to an end. 28-0 is your score. Conval will flip ends of the field. And they're going to try to head into the south end now. We'll see if that makes a difference. Maybe there's a little juju on the south end, and it'll help Conval out a little bit.
Certainly, the breeze seems to be going towards that south end, so maybe that'll give them a little bit of a hand.
What breeze are you seeing? I'm looking at a flag that's hanging straight down. Our cameraman can't give us a look at the flag. It's flying straight down, but
I'm watching the goalpost flags.
Oh, okay. Beautiful night here in Peterborough. Leaves are turning. Just before kickoff, there was still just enough light to see what was going on out there. Beautiful foliage here. Late October day in Peterborough, New Hampshire, at the foot of Mount Monadnock. Milford Spartans took the, 40-minute bus ride up here, came dressed, ready to play, and they've shown that on the field, too. So as we start the second quarter of play, it will be a second down and about 9 yards to gain for the Cougars. I have to say I'm enjoying this Cougar band here tonight.
They are a very good band. And here we get, again, a little bit of a change on the Spartans defense with Jake Tewksbury playing the corner spot.
High snap to Sanborn. He handles it. Pass is complete to Weatherall. Weatherall tries to pitch it. That ball is loose, and the Milford Spartans have come up with it. Milford Spartans.
Probably an ill-advised pitch, if I'm thinking if I was a Conval coach.
Sanborn to Weatherall on an 8-yard gain, but he got twisted around on that tackle, and in the process of twisting around, he looked to pitch the ball. As he pitched the ball, however, and I couldn't see who the pitchman, who the recipient was intended to be on that, but he wasn't able to catch it cleanly, and just before the ball went out of bounds, the Spartans were able to fall on it. Flag is on the field. We're not sure what the call is. As the officials sort this out, it looks like the Milford Spartan offense is remaining on the field. We'll get the call for you in just a moment. Five-yard penalty on the Cougars will move the ball to the Spartan 46-yard line where they take over on offense.
And we've already here in the second quarter making a little change on our...
No, I have to check that. The penalty was apparently on the Spartans, and that penalty brings up a 3rd and 6. Something got lost in communication here. The officials are still talking. Both teams are on the field ready to play. The Cougar offense is lined up ready to go, as is the Spartan defense. And, yeah, wholesale changes on the Spartan defense with a 28-point lead at the 11:50 mark of the second quarter. Unfortunately, we don't have microphones on the field. It's not really clear to me what the officials are calling here. They've had their conversation, and they seem to be content to come back to a 3rd and 6 for the Cougars. We'll see if we can get an explanation for you and bring it to you at halftime. Sanborn barking out the signals, single setback behind him. Sanborn takes the snap, 3-step drop, releases the ball downfield. That pass is intended for Weatherall. Weatherall turns around looking for a flag, doesn't get one. That pass was defended by Tewksbury, who fell down behind the play. Not sure what Weatherall was looking for on that play.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Probably felt Tewksbury behind him, but that is now a 4th and 6, and the Cougars are now getting lined up to punt with Weatherall, the punter, and back deep for the Spartans, Kimball, and I believe Matt Hannon. Can't make out the number from here.
Looks like numbered.
Kick is away. Fair catch called for by Chuck Erda for the Spartans. The freshman quarterback, younger brother of Gavin Erda, stuck out there by Coach Jones to field the punt. Does a nice job.
He did a nice job.
Not trying to do too much with that. He's played a little bit on the varsity this season, but this is it's a varsity game for him. He is a freshman, and back there to receive the punt. Didn't feel comfortable that he was going to be able to advance the ball. Nope. Stuck his hand in the air, called for a fair catch, made the catch.
Yep.
And the Spartans are in business. They're going to come out on offense. The ball spotted at the 18-yard line, 17-yard line, and the Milford Spartan offense back to work.
Spartan offense comes out with their senior line once again.
Logan Barnhill in motion. The give is to Ugu. Ugu up the middle, stumbling and bumbling, and after a nice 11-yard gain is brought down, tripped up, really.
Tripped up, but he was nicely staying low.
got his pads squared to the line of scrimmage and just bowled his way for an 11-yard gain. First down, moves the chains for the Spartans. Tewksbury wide left for the Spartans. Erda surveying the defense. Really just staring it down. I don't even see him moving his head. He's just waiting for them to declare their spots. The give is to Ugu again up the middle. The big man is breaking free. If he can outrun him, brought down from behind after a nice long gain. Junior Ugu brought down from behind by Justin Byrne, but not before he picks up, I can't even tell you right now, 30 yards on the play. That moves the chains as well. And Junior Ugu, who's been a workhorse running back, and in almost any other offense would be your feature back.
Certainly would be.
On a team with anybody other than Gavin Erda, he would be your back, your feature back. He's playing second fiddle to that, but he's doing a great job absorbing the punishment in the middle, and that's what softens up the defenses around the division.
Right.
And then Gavin Erda comes in and, outspeeds everybody from his quarterback position after they've had a dose of Junior Ugu. This time the give is to Trevor Coyne. Trevor Coyne still on his feet, right sideline, one man to beat. Spin move by Coyne, gets inside the 5-yard line, close to a touchdown, just shy of the goal line. Milford Spartans doing it with a number of different players tonight. Trevor Coyne.
Nice running by Trevor. Nice control of the ball. Tucked that ball, spun.
Coyne having a tough time this year on defense, giving up a lot of height to some of the better wide receivers in the league. This time he has a chance on offense to kind of make up for some of that. Does a nice job. Big gain from Trevor Coyne. First and goal from the 2-yard lines. Milford looking to punch it in. Erda content to let the play clock run down. The give is to Ugu.
Trevor
Coyne. The fake was to Ugu. The give was to Coyne. Trevor Coyne with the touchdown. Milford Spartans score again.
Again, we see the essence of the Spartan offense where it can go to one person, you get faked out, you have to figure out who the ball went to.
We were talking earlier about how I need to go see Dr. Aubrey. Well, that's why.
It's the Erda magician moves.
And he's teaching his younger brother Chuck how to do that. We're probably going to have another Erda for 3 more years. Liam Daly set to add the point after touchdown. The point is ball is up. The point is scored. Tally that for the Spartans, 35-0. If the half ends now, second half, running clock the rest of the way.
Right, so here we get Conval is going to want to score right now.
Milford's goal coming into the game was to score early, score often, get a 35-point lead at the half. Now it's up to the defense. The offense has done its job.
Right.
Now it's up to the defense to keep that goose egg on the board and protect this lead and then preserve it in the second half.
And the Spartans coming in with their second-line defense right now.
Spartans also demonstrating that the south end of the field is not the only end that can be scored upon. They did take that drive south to north and scored in the north end zone. Really not a surprise that Conval's not able to score on the Spartan defense so far. This is a team that has been shut out 4 of the 6 times that they have lost. They put up, I believe it was 21 points in their win against Kingswood. And the other 2 games, they scored 6 and 7 points respectively. Daly steps into the ball, squib kick to the right side, fielded there. I believe that's Heck. We'll confirm that in a moment. Still on his feet. 34 was the carrier. That is Austin Davis. He's run out of bounds along the left sideline in front of the Milford Spartan bench. Sanborn takes over. 1st and 10. Ball is spotted at the 35-yard line.
Again, we're here on senior night. Beautiful night for football here in Conval.
Nice facility here at Conval Stadium. They have a nice track around their field. The lights are great. Crisp and cool evening here in Peterborough, New Hampshire. Cougars running the same flexbone offense that the Spartans do, learning under first-year head coach Rob Klaus. Sanborn under center. The pitch is to number 11. That would be, I lost him again, Reed Wilson. Wilson's actually had a very productive night for the Cougars. He's one of the few running backs that have been able to, when they've been able to get him the ball, actually make productive, positive yardage.
Right.
It's a 1-yard gain for the Cougars, 2nd and 9. Coach Klaus also telling me before the game that in as much as his team has been hit a little bit by the injury bug, with the young players he has, he's giving a lot of players opportunities to, get on the field in a varsity game as underclassmen, sophomores and juniors. Sanborn, little counteraction, that beautiful little design little
nice
play. Austin Davis gets the counteraction moving for the Cougars. About a 4 or 5 yard gain. That'll be bring up a 3rd down and about 4. Very well designed play. Spartans were looking in the backfield on that one, and I think the defensive line a little undisciplined, got a little bit too much penetration, and that's why that counter play was effective.
Right. We got the younger squad is in there right now, so this is a good opportunity for them to learn and get some experience here. Nate Gagnon sticking right to the play though and making that nice tackle.
Nice to see some of these underclassmen for the Spartans here in the first half. Pitch is to Wilson again. Wilson following his blocker, moving forward, falling forward. First down for the Conval Cougars.
Matthew Roland making that tackle, number 52. Nice job for the Conval making a first down here. They're mixing up the plays nicely.
When you have a team that's 1-6, clearly, they would love to give the Spartans all they can handle. But right now, their goals have to be smaller. It has to be positive yardage on plays, executing the play that's called the way the coach wants it run. Both the skill players as well as the linemen need to all do their jobs as designed and then build on that.
And we talked about the fundamentals and Coach Jones wanting to work on fundamentals. So this is a good opportunity for the Spartans.
Sanborn fakes the handoff, keeps the ball, almost lost it actually. Moves forward, short gain for the Cougars. The difference in the offense when it's run by a Gavin Erda versus a Caleb Sanborn is just the ball control and the ability to hide it, not declare where it's going on this read option, and be able to make that read late.
Right.
And allow your running back either to, if he's going to keep it, it's because there's going to be a hole. And if he isn't going to keep it, let that defense commit itself before you pull it back out. And Erda has mastered that. Sanborn working on it. Sanborn under center after talking to his tailback. Takes the snap, drops back, swing pass out here to Davis on the right side. Beautiful little form tackle by freshman Chuck Erda. Was one-on-one on an island with Austin Davis.
Lowered his shoulders, went right down.
When you're playing with a 35-point lead, all you do is see the ball, go get the ball, tackle the ball carrier.
Right.
You don't make the game any more complicated than that. Have to imagine that the Erda dinner table, around the Erda dinner table, they talk about these kind of fundamentals with Coach Richard Erda and 2 of his sons here working with the Spartans. 3rd down, about 5 yards, maybe a 5.5 yards. Sanborn back to pass. Pass is intended for number 21. That was Justin Byrne. Falls short at his feet. That'll bring up a 4th down now. 4th and 6.
Seeing Conval letting these players play right now. Number 63 at the Conval had a nice shirt grab on the Spartans there, but again, might as well let these guys play.
Going to be a 4th down.
The officials have nothing to gain by blowing that, throwing a flag on
They
that.
certainly do not.
It's going to kill their hourly rate for working the game if they do that. Back to punt, Peter Weatherall. Andrew Byrne and I believe Chuck Erda to receive this punt. Kick is away, beautiful end over end kick. That Erda is content to let that bounce over his head inside the 20. I think he was hoping that would get into the end zone. It had a lot of mustard on it, but not enough. And that ball is down nicely by the Conval Cougars at the Spartan 13-yard line, where the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at the 5:24 mark of the 2nd quarter. Milford Spartans 35-0. came off the bus, put the pads on, and went to work.
Went to work.
Not even a hint of a breeze here in late October.
The air has settled down. Chuck Erda is on the field as a quarterback. Looks like we've called it a night for Gavin.
Part of the mutual respect that Coach Jones and Coach Klaus have for each other. Coach Klaus fully expected that Coach Jones would be doing this with his players as early as he was able to. Erda turns around to hand the ball off, but his running back wasn't there. Conval Cougars were, though, and they brought him down for a loss of about 2 on the play. Make that 5. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 15. Not the direction the offense is supposed to go in, so I think the senior Gavin Erda better teach his younger brother, the freshman Chuck Erda, when he's running the offense, he's got to go that way.
Right, and I'm sure that's another discussion at the dinner table with the Erdas.
2nd down and 15 for the Spartans. Chuck Erda under center running this flexbone offense. The give is to the second man through the hole. Tackled after maybe a 1-yard gain. That was,
Darian Kimball.
Darian Kimball handling the ball for the Spartans. Short gain, maybe a yard. 3rd down. Spartans in the shadow of their own goalpost. It was a great opportunity for head coach Keith Jones to work with his underclassmen, now build upon this team for next year. It's a rare opportunity late in a season in which you have postseason aspirations to actually work with your younger players. Some of these players could seek time in the postseason if there's significant injuries, but really he's looking ahead to next year, and that's unusual to have that opportunity. The give is to Liam Daly. The Spartan place kicker has a nice gain. Flag comes in on the play. Rare flag for tonight. Came in at the end of that play. Nice run by Liam Daly. About a 12-yard gain. It's going to be short of the 1st down, but we'll have to see what the laundry indicates. We still owe you an explanation from earlier. Got a hold on the play by the Spartans. Really not that unusual to see that with a younger team out there. That'll negate a nice run by junior Liam Daly. Coach Keith Jones electing to use his place kicker, junior place kicker Liam Daly, on the offense. Kind of a luxury to have players in specialty positions like a place kicker and so forth, but these are players. They want to be in the game. They want to be on offense. They want to be on defense.
They are, and this is, again, this is a senior-heavy Spartan team, so you got 21 seniors, so we do have some seniors that are playing on the second line here.
Seniors that don't typically have the opportunity to contribute except perhaps on kickoff or punt teams. We have a timeout on the field at the 3:41 mark of the 2nd quarter. Milford Spartans 35, Conval Cougars 0 here at Conval High School. Here's a trivia question for you. What does the con stand for in Conval, Dennis?
I'm not sure.
I was hoping you knew that.
I didn't.
I think it said Kentucky Valley on the building.
That would make sense.
Does that sound right?
Valley, that would make sense.
My New Hampshire roots are definitely sound in here, but it's been a while since I've been out to this part of the state. And I don't know why it's taken me so long to get out here. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful drive out here with our media manager, Chris Gentry. And we have a nice night for football Friday, late October, New Hampshire. The leaves are changing.
This is certainly the time of year you'd want to be able to go on the other side of Temple Mountain. A little bit further in the year, we're not going to want to go up over that mountain.
Spartans now have a 3rd and it looks like 13. I'd say a little bit more than that, but that's what the scoreboard here at Stadium Field says. Erda under center gives the ball to, I believe that's Kimball. Kimball sidesteps a couple of defenders. Nice gain from Kimball. Not going to be enough for a 1st down, but running hard. And the Spartan underclassmen offense showing that they've learned from their older brothers and upperclassmen. Head coach Keith Jones, though, sending out his primary special teams for the punt. Something we haven't seen the Spartans do much of this season is have to punt.
Yeah, we have not.
They've been able to move the ball into other teams' territory and, if anything, turn it over on downs. But Gavin Erda, the varsity punter for the Spartans, out on the field, high snap along his end zone, almost blocked, gets the ball away, out of bounds at the 40. We'll see where they mark it, where it actually crossed the sideline. And it's going to be great field position for the Conval Cougars.
Nice job by Conval having the gunner coming in there and certainly almost getting a hand on that ball.
The side judge is going to spot that ball at the 39-yard line. You're absolutely right, Dennis. That ball looked like it was going to be blocked. Erda barely getting it off. And quite honestly, the first thing I thought was, what if he gets hurt on a punt?
Right.
And I'm wondering if that's what the coaching staff on the sideline is wondering about as well.
A little bit of a cringe, I'm sure, over there.
Of all things to derail the season would be a hamstring, an ankle, a knee on a punt in a 35-point game. We'll see what they do if they have that opportunity again. Sanborn takes the snap, 3-step drop, now steps up into the pocket, releases the ball. Pass was intended for, I believe, Austin Davis. No, that would be number 30, Alex Heck. Falls short. Defending on the play, primary defender for the Spartans, Tyler Hamlin. I believe it was also double teamed back there, and that would be Andrew Burns adding some coverage. With the Cougars down big and now throwing the ball around a little bit, Spartans have an opportunity to work on their pass defense. They are going to, looks like they're playing a little man-to-man here. Maybe man-to-man outside with, cover 2 in the middle. Sanborn, pitch to number 11, that is, and he's off. Wilson is gone, touchdown. Spartans have some work to do. They give up the touchdown.
Certainly do. There was a nice block by Conval onto Kyle Boucher, number 26. He was lined up for the tackle, but nice block by Conval, setting their man free.
Reed Wilson takes that pitch, and he goes 41 yards for the touchdown. Junior running back takes the block, receives the block, and he really went untouched up the sideline.
He did. Again, Conval coming out there, keeping heads up, making some nice blocks.
And if the Spartans were looking to have a running clock in the second half, they're going to have to score in the final 2-something minutes of the second quarter. The extra point is good. The Conval Cougars have just posted 7 points on the Spartans. 35-7 is your score at the 2:25 mark. So one of the primary goals of head coach Keith Jones coming into this game was to shorten the game. That touchdown, however, changes the complexion a little bit, and it begs the question, Dennis, we're going to see, do the Spartans put their varsity offense back out here and try to punch that ball in there and get it back to a 35-point differential? You're a head coach in the youth and rec leagues. What do you think you're doing here?
Well, I agree with you. I guess you're probably going to look to score, and you want to get your varsity players like Gavin Erda off the field. You really want to keep them healthy for next week, and as well as continue to work on your offensive line and your defensive line that don't necessarily get to play all the time. So you want to get those the Ben Kilgores in the opportunities to continue working his craft, and so that if someone did go down, you have your backups. And we know that the Spartans are a little bit behind on the backup side. So
Logan Barnhill back deep for the Spartans. He's flanked by Kimball, and I believe that's Caden Zielinski, super sophomore Caden Zielinski, number 2 rusher on this team. Haven't seen him much on offense tonight or called his name very often on offense, but the Fabian Steinberg kicks it off, and it is fielded by Barnhill deep in his territory. He's going to run up the right side, makes one move, a second move, brings the ball out to about the 25-yard line, where the Spartans will take over on offense with 2:17 remaining in the first half of play.
Garrett Armstrong on the tackle.
Looking to see who head coach Keith Jones sends out to run his offense.
it looks like he's comfortable with staying with his second line. We see Chuck Erda coming back out in the field.
Chuck Erda steps into the huddle for the Milford Spartans, calling the plays in place of senior Gavin Erda. Nice to see Conval Cougars have not given up on this game or this season. Reed Wilson took the ball into the end zone for them. Right now, ball carried by Darian Kimball. Tries to turn the corner on the left side. Short gain, maybe a yard or two. Peter Weatherall in there for the tackle for the Conval Cougars.
On the stop.
This is a glimpse at the future, though, of the Milford Spartan program next season and beyond. Caden Zielinski, as a sophomore, the number 2 rusher on the team. He's amongst 4 rushing rushers for the Spartans in the top 20 in the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, we're just working on their maturity right now. And
the give is to Daly, turns the corner right side, running to the sideline, brought down just shy of the yard to gain. That'll bring up a 3rd and short for the Spartans. Daly tackled right in front of the Spartan bench. 3rd down and 1. Kind of imperative for the Spartans not only to move the chains here and continue to consume time, 1:14 as the clock continues to run, but important for these young Spartans to have some success. And just like the young Conval Cougars want to have success in executing the play and so forth, same is true with these young Spartans. Erda gives it to the second man through the hole. I believe we have a first down. I'll probably give him forward progress on that play.
I would think so. It looks like he made that by at least a yard.
Referee has indicated first down. The chains will move. So there is that success that we talked about, Dennis. These young Spartans need to move the chains. That's the first step. Then you need to move the chains multiple times. That's the next step. You move them often enough, eventually you run out of real estate and you score a touchdown.
Right. And 42 seconds left running clock right now.
Clock winds here as we come to the end of the first half of play. Chuck Erda under center, Wishbone behind him. Erda gives to the second man through again, and I'll tell you who that is in just a second. Short gain, as head coach Keith Jones seems to be content to take his 35-7 lead into halftime as the clock continues to run. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the first half of play here on Granite Town Media. Milford Spartans have traveled to Peterborough, put up 35 points in the first half. They gave up a late touchdown, so that means the clock will not run in the second half until they get up back to that 35-point differential. A lot of lessons being learned on both sides of the ball here tonight for the Spartans, and a lot of lessons being learned by both teams in a game like this. As the Spartans, looking to improve on their 6-1 record, seem to be well on their way to doing that. They'll likely go into the Alvern game 7-1, really unless Alvern drops their game to Hollis Brookline, with first place not only in the division and the conference, but in Division 2. On the line when Alvern comes to Milford High School on Friday, November 1st.
Setting up for a great football in Spartan Stadium.
So as the Conval Marching Cougars take the field, we'll step aside for a few moments. In the second half, Dennis, you're going to be joined by Milford football, actually Milford lacrosse aficionado Mike Hannon. He'll replace me on the microphone and join you for the second half of play. It's been my pleasure as always. Before we take off, let's again set the stage for you. Second half, 35-7. And we'll be back together again next week when Alvern comes to town, and that should be a monster game. If you're hearing this game here tonight, make sure you're at Spartan Field on November 1st. Kickoff is 7 p.m.
Senior night. Welcome back, Spartans. Second half here at the Conval Stadium. 35-7, our Milford Spartans versus the Conval Cougars. I want to thank Granite Town Media for bringing the game today. We're here with Dennis Shepard with Mike Hannon.
Dennis, it's great to join you for the second half.
Great day for football here on the top of the Crow's Nest here in Peterborough, New Hampshire.
Beautiful night out here, and getting to enjoy the Conval's senior night and watching them before the second half as everybody's congratulating themselves out on the field with their parents, and it's great to see, and it's something that we'll get to enjoy next week.
Certainly is a senior night against. We'll be at home in Milford, with Alvern being coming over for a great game, end of the season, and as we position ourselves for the playoffs. But here we are, getting ready to start the second half of play of the third quarter, as our Milford Spartans tune up for playoffs versus the Cougars at the moment here in the Contoocook Valley, Conval Stadium, as we learned from Kevin earlier.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Jones just after the first half, and speaking about his team and asking him how well they were performing, even though the score is what it is. But he was really excited about how well they executed in the first half, and also the opportunity he was able to provide some underclassmen to get some real playing time. So that is very exciting. I think it's exciting for all the players, and that's where we're seeing our season, especially the last 3 games, go on. And talking to Coach Kloss from Conval, starting 8 sophomores and a few juniors onto the field, he couldn't say enough great things about the Milford team, and especially Coach Jones. And also, speaking about Gavin Erda, number 14, out on the field,
certainly
being that special player, and number 9 out there, just being able to plow through people. But and the end result, as we start the second half, is Conval. This is where Conval wants to be. It's like a Milford team.
Certainly, and we talked about earlier that you got 2 teams here, both playing the flex bone offense. Obviously, Spartans with a little bit more mature, as number 23, Logan Barnhill, takes it across to the 40-yard line, and a whole slew of Conval Cougars take him down as we start in the third quarter with 11:47. But certainly this is an opportunity for the Spartans to tune up, work on their fundamentals, as well as we are ahead 35-7. Certainly have an opportunity to get that second line offense, second line defense in here to play and work on those fundamentals, and certainly tune up for the playoffs. We all know that the senior goal is for Durham, so you certainly need a little bit of backup and an opportunity for these guys to our second line and our freshmen to play. So Here we are with Chuck Erda starting the third quarter as leading the offense.
And it was great to see him out in the first half, and to see what how he would perform with these players, and he certainly did impress us in the first half of his play, and what it'll look like in the future.
So starting with a little bit of confusion on the Spartan side, Coach Jones has already called a timeout. Again, 11:47 here in the third quarter. Your Milford Spartans are up 35-7.
Dennis, I had an opportunity when I was on the other side of the field, looking at stats, talking to some of the families, Spartan families on the other side, and how excited they are to see their Spartans play, and not looking forward to the next game. Obviously, keeping it's one game at a time. But I could tell you, when I asked them if they had any input, so we can broadcast, I think everybody went mute, as they didn't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx anything, but some great family support for their Spartan players.
Certainly, as I know everybody's going to be excited to have Alvern come to our home, as we went to their home twice last year in a playoff opportunity. So here we are, third quarter, 11:47 to go. Chuck Erda is under center. Liam Daly with the movement.
Liam up the middle.
Liam Daly with the ball, carrying up. Looks like a 6-yard gain.
Going to bring up a second down, and
as we bring up second down, 4 yards to go.
And it seems like a similar theme, keeping the ball on the ground for the second half, Dennis, as it was in the first half. No pass attempts in the first half by our Spartans team. Obviously didn't have to, but we'll see if they're going to keep that ground game going.
So here we are in the Kyle Boucher with the pass to Kyle Boucher with the fake handoff by Chuck Erda, but a pass incomplete over to number 49. Number 49 is
it's not
Andrew Herner.
Oh, yeah. Pass incomplete and just out of the reach.
Andrew Herner, the intended target.
Andrew's a sophomore, so we're getting some game time, so we'll be seeing a lot of this in the second half, which is outstanding for these players.
Certainly is. We got number 49, Keegan Hatch, playing on the outside line. He's another freshman in there. The handoff over to number 6, Trace Cody. Trace Cote, another freshman, going for the first down on that one. As we hear in the third quarter, 35-7 Spartans, 10 minutes, 47 seconds to go. Andrew Burns runs in the call over to Chuck Erda.
Jack Allard on the stop.
Cougars look like they're in a 5-2 defense. Wide right is Andrew Burns. Chuck Erda on the center. The handoff over to number 37 of the Spartans.
That's Ryan Seal, and Ryan's a senior this year.
Looks like he's got to gain about 4 yards. They'll bring up
Ceiling on the carry.
third down, and we'll call it 6.
I think Ryan Seal last week had his first touchdown,
He did.
and which I know that a lot of excitement about that. So very congratulate Ryan on that, getting a touchdown in his senior year. That's tremendous.
Certain with 21 seniors on a football team, and the opportunity for 11 of them to be on the field on the varsity side for the most part, it's nice to see the other seniors get in some of the play.
Absolutely.
Chuck Erda with the keeper, comes out wide to the left. Slight gain, maybe a yard or two.
Chuck Erner on the carry. Reed Wilson on the stop.
Brings up third down.
And I think that's what makes this this football team really special this year. And I'm sure it's been said during the season, but I don't think I can say it enough of how supportive they are. I mean, they really applied the team aspect and we not me mentality that Coach Jones has built.
They certainly do, and they talk about the family that they've built, and you got 21 seniors. Many of them played many of the sports together for a long time over the years. Mm-hmm. As Chuck Erda holds onto the ball, and is a late whistle as he's getting pushed along by number 76 on the Cougars, Gareth Armstrong. With a nice read on that, a fourth down for the Spartans, 4th down and 3. 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Spartans up 35-7. We have a nice opportunity here for, again, Jordan Post in there as a sophomore. We've got Ben Kilgore playing on the line there. Number 62 is our center, Jordan Clark. Chuck Erda rolls out with a pass over to number 6. A completed pass to Trice Cote.
That was a tremendous, nice pass out to the wing there, and great to see that freshman probably get a little butterflies out in the senior game. And
Chuck Erda with some nice poise there, rolling out.
Absolutely.
Conval certainly, putting some pressure on him. But we do have a first down for the Spartans. First down, 8 minutes, 37 seconds here in the third quarter, 35-7 Spartans. First and 10 at the 10. All right, I guess they're calling it the 11-yard line. The handoff to Trace Cote. Trace picks up 5 yards on that play.
So far, this drive has taken almost about 3.5 minutes off the clock, so it's keeping it moving, and it seems like they're really staying poised for a young group of players out on the field.
What's really nice is we had talked about at the end of the second half, we wondered if Coach Jones would bring in the varsity team just to get that running clock going, but he's stuck with this group of players. Chuck Erda under the helm there, and they've got some nice poise, a little bit of stature here in the third quarter, marching down the field.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's nice to see.
The handoff over to number 18, Dylan McNutt. He's a senior. But Eric Clark with a nice read on that play.
In on the tackle.
Third down, no gain. Third down and 5. Again, 7 minutes, 37 seconds here in the third quarter.
Third down, Spartan.
Spartan varsity team resting comfortably on the sideline as we have our second line, our junior JV team out here on the field getting some time. Eric Hussey is wide right. In motion is number 18, Dylan McNutt. He takes the ball once again down there for a gain of...
Short of the goal line.
Just short.
Just short, so
Oh, it is a
fourth down. So 4th down and 2, we'll call it.
It up to 4th down now. 4th down and less than a yard.
Oh, the stadium's calling it 4th down, less than a yard. Was 4th down on the 11, but
Again,
not sure how we did not get the first down. 6 minutes, 32 seconds here in the third quarter. Milford Spartans football here at Conval Stadium, 35-7. Chuck Erda has the handoff. Chuck Erda hands it off to Trice Coate. Looks like the Conval Cougars made a nice read on that and stopped him just shy of the first down.
And it's it's great to see Conval. I mean, they're still out there fighting. They're not giving up too much to the Spartans team. So, if you look at this team, they might be down, but this is a team I think that in the future Milford is going to have to watch out for because they have a lot to offer. They're well disciplined and well coached by the Conval team out there. So it's this is the future, and this is what you're going to be seeing. They're well coached.
They're well coached, and certainly when you're 1-6, you're out there. You're making sure that you're playing for pride.
Yep.
So Milford got the first down on that play. A little confusion here up on the crow's nest as it looked like it was just shy. But now we are first down, second down, 1 yard to go, 5 minutes, 26 seconds left here in the third quarter. Again, we got the Milford Spartans second line out there with Chuck Erda at the helm as a quarterback. Our center is number 62, Jordan Clark. Chuck hands it off to Kyle Boucher. Oh, Chuck actually faked me out, just as one of the Erdas would do. Playing like his brother with the touchdown by Chuck Erda. Just as his brother is a magician on the varsity team, we have Chuck Erda, the magician in training here. Looked like he had handed off over to Kyle Boucher, but he kept that over for the touchdown. In comes Liam Daly for the extra point. Ball is down. The kick is good. Milford Spartans 42. Cougars are 7. Nice job by the Spartans going down, marching down the field, taking some time off that clock here in the third quarter.
Yeah, as we transition for the kickoff, standing over on the other side, Dennis, and listening to the coaching, even when we're up 35-0, they were still being coached the same way as if it was 0-0. And, for a situation like this, when you're going to go up against a high competitor as Alvern next week, to keep that intensity up is probably very important for the coaching staff and the team to let know that there's not going to be any bad plays that are going to be accepted on that on our side of the field. So it's great to see. Obviously we've got some great coaches, and very important to keep those disciplines in place.
Yeah, we have some great players on the team, but certainly there's an opportunity when you're up 35-7, 35-0.
Yeah,
the opportunity is there to be a little bit lazy.
Yes, it actually is. So
the fundamentals are the key. Making sure you're making the great tackles and the hitting the holes where you should be, and certainly the coaching staff is making sure Monday that the video is, as much as you've had a great game and you won. Yep. I'm sure that there will be some frowns in that
video.
Absolutely.
So
let's give them a round of applause.
So we're getting ready to kick off.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of the 2019.
So as we ready the ball here in the third quarter, Andrew Herner looks like be our kicker. 4 minutes, 59 seconds left. Has the quick off. Nice high kick over to Cougars number 34.
Austin Davis.
Austin Davis with the ball, and about a 5-yard gain off of that. So here we are at the Cougars ball, starting here at about the 37-yard line.
And Austin Davis for Conval has been all over the ball the whole game. That's the name you keep hearing over the announcements to the other side, and that's, he's only a junior, I believe. Yeah, junior Austin Davis. So I'm sure Conval is going to be looking for his continued leadership on the field next year.
Certainly will be, as the Cougars take a timeout here. Nice to see the enthusiasm of the Cougars still. You see number 76 skipping off the field as they call that timeout. So certainly a opportunistic Cougar group here, being well coached, and an opportunity to play against a team that runs the same defense and runs the same offense.
Yep. Yeah, Coach Klaus is really a class act himself. I had an opportunity to speak to him at the halftime, and like I said before, Dennis, couldn't say enough nice things about Coach Jones and the team. But Coach Klaus, what a wonderful man, and I was very honored to be able to have an opportunity to speak to him, even if it was for a few moments.
And we talked about Coach Klaus, actually from that Milford area, having coached a few teams out in our Milford area. So certainly no stranger to the Milford coaching staff. As most of Division II, as we make our rounds around the division, the coaching staff all seems to have high praise for each other, and that's nice to see as you got a great group of players on the fields as well. 4 minutes, 17 seconds here in the third quarter. The Milford Spartans 42, Cougars of Conval 7. Conval with the ball at the 47-yard line. Again, they are in the wishbone offense right now with the handoff to number 11, Reed Wilson. We got some dirty laundry being tossed on the field as he takes about a 2-yard gain.
I think you got the 3 flags on the field, and I think someone from the concession stands also threw a flag somewhere out there. So
right, number 26, Kyle Boucher with the tack on that, but we'll wait for the call on that. So we got a face mask against Milford on that, so we'll see the ball being marched down the field as we reach the 4 minute, 8 second mark of the third quarter. A little bit slower going here in the third quarter. Beautiful night here in Conval, Peterborough, New Hampshire, as the Cougars march south here on the field.
Yeah, it's great coming to a school like Conval. Everybody is very gracious, and they're great hosts, for a game, in any sport that is played here.
Seen some great games here at the stadium, whether it be soccer, lacrosse, as I'm sure you're well aware, and
yes, sir,
or track. Nice run by the Cougars. Number 28, Caleb Sanborn.
Caleb's a sophomore.
Caleb with a 9-yard gain here on that play.
Caden Zielinski, and on the stop.
Caden Zielinski, number 22, is on the stop. Nathan Gagnon takes a march off the field. Jake Monahan is up on center on our defense. Ben Kilgore playing end. A pass is over to number 17 of the Cougars, Eric Clark. Keeps his feet moving. We see Liam Daly taking a grasp on him, but give Clark a bonus there for keeping his feet moving, trying to break loose on there as the Cougars get a first down.
Cougars first and 10.
It was nice to see Liam, who's a junior on the team. He didn't let go, so actually brought him back a little bit. That's a strong young man out on the field.
As much as Cougars kept their feet moving, Liam, we saw, kept his feet moving as well. And nice to see the fundamentals had him well wrapped up around the waist there. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left here in the third quarter. So the Cougars have the ball at the 26 26-yard line, 27-yard line, we'll call it. Wide right on number 81 for the Cougars. We have the handoff against number 34 right down the middle.
Oh, tripped up.
Tripped up, but not before Austin Davis gained about 12 yards on that.
Yeah, nice run.
Number 10, Chuck Erder on the stop.
Chuck Erder with the freshman for the Spartans with a nice stop.
First down.
So we get first down, Cougars at the 14-yard line, 13-yard line. 1 minute, 45 seconds here in the third quarter. Milford Spartans 42, Conval Cougars 7. Nice pitch to number 35, Tyler Finley. Tyler takes that ball down about 6-7 yards.
Tyler Finley on the carry. Caden Zielinski on the stop.
Caden Zielinski with that stop. We talked about earlier Caleb Sanborn, the sophomore here for the Cougars, as a quarterback, and nice poise today, and down 42-7, but certainly in this drive here, he's got some nice poise with the pitches, a couple nice passes, and here in the center, he's got wide right number 81, who's not on my list for the roster of Sanborn. Caleb keeps that ball, but he's taken down
Austin Davis on
by,
the carry.
looks like Monahan.
On the stop.
Yeah, Caleb has had a great opportunity to play against a great Milford team this year, and the first half, looking at him, he had some nice poise. There's a couple incidents where he's tried to either rush a pass or force a pass, but you can't say enough good things about the sophomore.
Certainly, and the Cougars have a nice young team here to work with, and certainly when you get your sophomore quarterback and you're instituting an offense that they haven't learned before, you've got 3 years, the 3-year plan you're working with, and
yep.
Another nice pitch over to, I believe that's Austin Davis again, as he goes in for the touchdown.
I think that's Reed Wilson, number 11.
Reed Wilson.
Yep.
Sorry, my mistake. Nice drive by the Cougars as they started out at the 42-yard line. 37-yard line, I believe.
Yeah, very impressive drive, and I still, Milford did a nice job on defense. But Conval just got the job done on this drive,
did,
but
right.
nothing bad to say, and he missed opportunities on the defense.
Right. So the Cougars go for the extra point here as the ball is getting ready to be snapped. It's up, and it's good.
And after scoring the touchdown, Reed Wilson holds it. They put it up.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
So end of the third quarter here, 42-14, as the Milford Spartans take a commanding lead getting ready to gear up for a awesome game next week as our Spartans take on the Alvern Bears.
And while I was over the other side, Dennis, I got to talk to a number of students also on the other side that made the trip here up to Conval, the short ride to Peterborough, and they couldn't be more excited for their players and teams. And I think this team has definitely driven a lot of excitement into the schools, as have a lot of other sports in the Milford.
This has been a very successful year, 2019 here. We got the girls' soccer, of course, having a great year.
Yep.
Boys' soccer is well having a great year. You got the girls' volleyball heading towards the championship play. Obviously, we got our Milford Spartan football team going ready for the playoffs. But certainly a great fall season for Milford sports.
Yeah, it couldn't be better. Just being homecoming right now with the volleyball team, I think, is playing a game right now, and enjoying a nice spirit week at the school this week. So it's great to see the students out here tonight.
Liam Daly with the ball. A little bit of a bobble, but he takes the ball as he turns up the field to the 25-yard line, where he's met by a bunch of Cougars. Austin Davis with the tackle. The Spartans will take the ball at the 25-yard line with 11 minutes, 39 seconds here in the fourth quarter. I also mentioned that, talk about Milford High School sports being great, but we also see in the junior Spartans coming in and heading towards the championship, which is a feeder program at some point for our Milford Spartan varsity team. So
yeah, I get to enjoy to watch my son, number 48, Sean Hannon, play a game tomorrow up in Keene. As the U11 team heads into the playoffs. So you got a little Hannon getting ready to play and getting excited to watch. He hasn't missed a game yet for the senior team here, but watching his brother play. So I'm very excited and proud for both those boys.
It's a good way for for Coach Jones to see some of those players and as a feeder program into the Milford High School. So
yeah, absolutely.
Chuck Erda with the handoff, and the Cougars met the Spartans there with a looks like a 2-yard loss. Certainly nothing there, but the Cougars coming out and with a nice feisty defensive line there.
And speaking of junior Spartans, Coach Jones has his son coming up next year. He's been having a fine year as a quarterback.
Right.
So he's a big boy, and
he's a big boy.
He's doing a lot of great things with the team right now. And I think they only have one loss this year.
It's great to see. It's great to see football so strong in Milford.
And you know what? Just and see the families that are backing it. You can't help but to get excited.
Chuck Erda with the ball. A handoff over to number 6, Trace Coate. About a 6-yard gain. That brings up
For the Conval band under the direction of Jim Wickham.
that'll bring up 3rd down and 1. 9 minutes, 44 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Your Milford Spartans are up 42-14 versus the Conval Cougars.
Have the smart Whipple on the Facebook. He's got it all.
Wide right. We have number 27 for the Spartans. Chris Kotzefas butchered that name, I'm sure, as we hand it off over to Trice Coate again. Oh, and he breaks loose. Actually,
Number 10, Chuck Erda.
Chuck Erda breaks loose as he kept that ball for the touchdown for the Spartans.
Don't know quite what happened over on that other side. Let's just say touchdown.
It's a touchdown. We know that.
I had a close-up. I couldn't even tell.
Nope, maybe not.
So certainly getting to see some success as these underclassmen play a little bit of football here in the second half.
Yep.
Chuck Erda certainly taking a little bit of lessons from his brother, big brother there, on how to be the magician and disguise that ball as he took that down the field.
Number 10, Chuck Erda.
So we'll have Burns will accept the snap, and Liam Daly with the extra point. The snap, the ball is down. Liam's got that ball up. The kick is good. 49-14. Milford Spartans will be kicking off here in the fourth quarter as 8 minutes, 11 seconds click down on the clock.
It's nice to see the fans on the other side of the field for Conval still cheering on their team.
It is. I can't say enough about this this Cougar family here and the coaching staff and making sure that these young players are out there and enjoying themselves as well as learning and working on their fundamentals, and certainly having a little bit of success here in the second half as they march down the field and get ready for another kickoff here.
Yeah, it's really nice to see when a team, on both sides of the field, are showing a lot of class, a lot of sportsmanship, and that's shows leadership within the coaching. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's about.
Right. And we talked about the Cougars.
Having a lot of fun.
We talked about the Cougars are new to this flex bone offense that the Spartans run, and as they look to develop and kind of follow in the footsteps of the Spartans right now as they have a younger sophomore quarterback.
There you go, my friend. Let's hear it for our winner of the trivia.
Spartans get ready to kick off the ball with 8 minutes, 11 seconds left. Ball caught by number 32, 34, Austin Davis. 32, not on my list.
Runner on the stop.
You can make up a name.
Yep.
35-yard line.
We'll call him Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, Dale Earnhardt,
Conval.
Junior.
7 minutes, 47 seconds here in the fourth quarter. The Cougars take the ball here at the 35-yard line, getting ready to march north on the field here. Try and give it a little bit of name off some of our defense right now. We've got Eric Hussey out there playing the Sam spot on the linebacker. Kyle Boucher playing middle linebacker. Liam Daly playing in the end.
Yeah, timeout.
Timeout by Conval. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Again, Milford Spartans up 49. Conval Cougars 14.
Dennis, as a past coach, what do you say? How do you keep the Milford team? We're talking about before keeping the motivation up, keeping the disciplines in place. But as a coach, what are you saying to your team? What's
I think right now you're talking fundamentals. You're talking about working on the stuff that you worked on in August. Certainly, this is a Spartan team that we saw some weaknesses back at the beginning of August. We saw some weaknesses at our corner spots, and really in the past 3 weeks, we've cleaned everything up. We went up to Kennett, a little bit shaky that week before on a loss against Sauhegan, but we went up to Kennett there, and our corners, in particular, you had Sean Hanrahan and Trevor Coyne certainly solidify that balance, and we saw the Spartans really look like they were a championship team at that point, and now we've gone through Sanborn. Now with Conval, we're getting an opportunity to bring in second line offense, second line defense, but still working on the fundamentals. And this is a Spartan team that they have a goal. Again, they want to be in Durham. A majority of these kids grew up in the Mustang program where they had success in the sixth grade, fifth grade championships. They just missed the championship as an eighth grade team, but certainly their goal, they know they're a team to beat. They have an opportunity to go to Durham here in November and win a championship. So,
and for a lot of them to be able to close out a football playing career for a good number of them, right. This can't be more exciting for
certainly,
them.
And this is college football to them.
Yep.
Many of them aren't going to play football.
Absolutely.
After this. Nice handoff again off to the Cougars to number 34, Austin Davis. Austin with another nice carry there. We got third down, 2 yards to go. Kyle Boucher with the tackle on that.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 44-yard line.
So with the ball at the 44-yard line, Cougar ball is 6 minutes, 8 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. 49-14, Spartans with the lead. Alexander Heck is wide left. Number 11, Reed Wilson in motion.
Reed Wilson.
And he has that ball for a first down by Conval.
They want to give a shout out. Football season.
I think you definitely got to remember and see more of the Reed Wilsons and Austin Davises in the next year or two, and how they're going to continue to develop with this Conval team.
I think so, and it's great to see the Conval team coming in with a mix of plays here, even with the score being so lopsided. They're certainly here to play their game and learn what this offense can do.
Flag on the play.
False start with Conval. Again, when you get a lot of teams that would start to fold and look down and just want to end the game, but here we got a Conval coaching staff and a Conval team and their fans here just really rooting on and looking to move that ball and get some more scores here. So, but again, it was offsides on Conval, 5-yard loss. Be first down 15. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Milford Spartans 49, Conval Cougars 14 here at Stadium Field in Peterborough, New Hampshire. A little bit of a chill in the air here in the fall in the Contoocook Valley.
No gain on the play.
The handoff with no gain.
Davis on the carry.
Austin Davis is with the carry, but a nice stop by number 62,
Sean Harrison
Jordan Clark.
on the stop.
Yeah, it's great to be outside tonight. You know, as we stand up on this perch of sorts and have a great view of the game. But this really, for a Friday night lights type football game, you couldn't have asked for better weather.
We haven't, and really the weather all season. Milford Spartans have had, out of 8 games, have had 7 games Friday night lights so far, and every one of them been great football weather.
And it really, when you have great weather, it really brings out the the families, and they get to have a great time.
Right. The keeper, well read by the Spartan defense, number 25 in particular with that tackle.
Devin Eves.
It'll be 3rd down and 15.
Sophomore.
Ball at the 40-yard line, just outside.
2 minutes, 30 seconds left
Really?
here in the fourth quarter. 49-14 Milford Spartans over the Conval Cougars.
Yeah, but we got Chris over here complaining he has to wear gloves here. So what's?
No, I've got my gloves on too here. It's a little chilly. I'm not gonna lie. My feet are actually chilled too. So
First time all season.
we've been spoiled all season. We've usually been in the press box. So here's a great opportunity to be up here in the crow's nest up here in Conval.
Somebody brings a heater.
You know, somebody brings the heater.
No hot chocolate's been delivered. No heater.
Yeah, as we were talking nice about the fans, the hot chocolate would have been nice.
Nice rollout. Conval with the pass.
Oh, he just threw
that one away with 1 minute 47 seconds left as the clock winds down. As we get ready to end our game 8 for the Milford Spartans. Nice little tune-up for the Spartans as they get ready to take on the Alvern on next Friday. Again, under Friday Night Lights, senior night at Milford Spartans.
Yeah, as we get closer, Dennis, now I guess we could talk a little bit more about Alvern and what to look forward to. But
Alvern's certainly going to be a tough team. They're a well-balanced team. They're going to certainly test the Milford Spartans on their passing. As we got a kick here, that ball is let go down here at the 41-yard line of the Spartans. Milford Spartans will take over the ball with 57 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. But again, Alvern will come out. They'll be well-balanced. They're going to be well-coached, as well as we know the Coach Jones will have these guys ready. But I think there's going to be a little bit of sense of urgency on the Spartan side where they lost a championship game that they should have won last year. So certainly Milford Spartans will be ready. They'll be excited. I think they've been tuning up for 2 weeks. We'll be excited to see if the last week we saw the no-huddle offense come out in the Spartans. It will be interesting to see what we come out with the game plan for next week.
yeah, so if we can get a lot of fans out there for senior night for Alvern, it is going to be a great game. If you look back at last year, those are probably 2 of the more exciting games you get to watch against two teams play.
They certainly are, and with Milford at the top of the division right now, certainly got a stacked division where Alvern, we see what happens with Alvern, but they had to go to Hollis tomorrow, and Bo and Kennett playing tonight as the clock winds down to 0. Milford Spartans varsity team with a 49-14 win. Teams line up, congratulate each other as we watch Joseph Shepard and Colton Burrows and Sean Hanrahan and Samuel Hodges.
Number 40, Andrew Skillen, a manager.
There comes our man Matthew Hannon.
Matthew Hannon and
I get
Jake Tewksbury and
these senior players and Mr. Tukes out there, a neighbor of mine, and seeing him play well this year, and
right.
And I can't tell you, I can't say this enough, and I'm going to say it one more time. You'll never meet a better group of young men out there who applaud each other. They celebrate each other's successes, and I couldn't be more proud as a dad and as a coach to be able to watch them play.
I have to agree. Some of these kids I coached when they were first grade Mustang players. These are a group of kids that went to kindergarten together. They play basketball together. They play lacrosse together. They play baseball together. Academically, they're all sound students.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the community, they go. They're helping out over at the nursing homes as young Kasamas.
Yep.
Certainly a great coached, great family group of teens here.
Yep.
Great group of young men, as well as our cheerleaders that we have come out and support these guys too. So this is certainly a great Spartan family to have here out here at Conval.
And it'll be a look forward to being able to celebrate with the band, the cheerleaders, the team, and the parents on Saturday.
Certainly does. So I'd like to thank you, Mike, for coming here for the second half with me.
Thank you very much.
As, Kevin St. Ange had to go and do some refereeing up in Vermont. But certainly we'd like to end it here at Conval Stadium with the score of 49, Milford Spartans versus the Conval Cougars of Conval 14. So Dennis Shepard again with Mike Hannon and Chris Gentry with Granite Town Media. Would like to thank you and see you next week on Granite Town Media with the Milford Spartans versus the Alvern November 1st.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Let's hear it for our coaches. Head coach Rob.